Okay, I am back here. I was doing a test on the Benchmade axis lock and trying to find out what happens if the omega springs that are in the axis lock were to break. What would happen with the knife? So, I guess this has to be part 2 now because my camera turned off. But in part 1, I had the knife with just one spring and it appeared to work okay. It seemed like the lock was still strong and usable. Although again, I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time using it like that, and I would probably want to get it fixed as soon as possible. But right here I have actually in my hands 2 omega springs. So let's see what happens if you're using your axis lock knife and both springs break at the same time. Or one spring breaks and you're not smart enough to get it fixed, and 3 months later the second spring breaks. Let's find out what happens. So here's a knife, and first thing you'll notice is I turn it over, shake it, the blade comes out. There's absolutely no blade retention. Not too safe. You hold it open and it closes. It's probably not the ideal way to use the knife. You can see the axis lock pin just moves back and forth. There's no tension holding it forward. So this knife probably is, I would guess it's probably not usable like this. I was playing around with it a little bit. If this is the only tool you had and you had to cut something and it was an emergency, if you were to hold it like this, I probably wouldn't recommend doing this. But if you hold it like this and with your thumb hold it forward, you're able to cut. You'd be able to cut something if you really needed to. But you have to probably weigh the positive negative about cutting something and having this thing close and cut your finger. So I would highly not recommend anybody use their knife when both omega springs break. But again, if you do hold it, if I hold this close with my thumb, it won't close. It will not close on you. So just thought this might be an interesting video. So I guess sort of the moral of the axis lock is if one omega spring breaks, at least with this knife, the knife seems to still be usable and functionable, at least for a short period of time until you can get it fixed. If both springs break, probably would not recommend using it. Which is actually, I think one of the nice things about the Benchmade axis lock system is you do have a redundancy in 2 springs. Even though they seem delicate, if one were to break, you still can use the knife. And just to go over the function of the axis lock again, when the springs push against the pin that holds the blade in, there's no any type of pressure against the lock. All the pressure is pushed against the pin. There is no pressure against the spring, so you're not really wearing your spring out as you're using the knife. So even though they're small and skinny, I don't think there's a lot of pressure against the spring, which would cause additional wear. So I think it's probably okay. I mean, I feel safe and confident using this knife. Let me pull in my Sabenza here. This also has a spring. It has the frame lock, which is a spring. What's better? One spring. If this one spring breaks, if I overextend it or something, push it too far that way, this knife becomes unusable. Even though these springs are much smaller and less strong than the Sabenza spring, if one breaks, the knife's still usable. So give and take. Which one you think is better? Or like me, have both. Anyway, it's just a video I thought I'd make talking about the axis lock. Let me know what you think. Talk to you guys later. Bye.